Welcome to the Altruistic Libertarian, advocate for a genuinely free society. I'm Anthony Wheeler, and today we review the program for the Traffic Panacea proposal. The purpose of the Next Generation Transportation System program is to manage the development, deployment, and testing of the NGTS, or Nuggets for short. The Nuggets program consists of 4 phases and is scheduled to last 5.5 years. Within the program, there are 3 scheduled go, no-go decision points. You can see here a high-level chart of the entire program. What follows will be a lower-level breakdown of each subphase. Phase 0, 3 months. Phase 0 begins with the decision to begin the Nuggets program. The first major step in the program will be to assign the Nuggets program director, the only full-time staff for the first 2 phases. The next step will be to establish the Nuggets program team. The purpose of this team will be to manage the Nuggets program from beginning to end. The program team will be led by the Nuggets program director. To staff the program team, the director will draw upon resources from the sponsoring organization, assumed to be the Federal Department of Transportation. Team membership will be determined during the establishment process of the team. It is expected that team members will be full-time employees of the sponsoring organization that devote a percentage of their time to team activities. The team will consist of perhaps 7 to 9 members. In total, the collective commitment equivalent to approximately 3 full-time staff. Team members may have skills and experience in project management, traffic studies, current DOT projections, financial analysis, industry expertise, and the creation of RFPs, requests for proposals, or the department equivalent. While the team will remain active during the entire program, team members may come and go depending on specific needs in any particular phase. Even so, it is expected that at least 3 or 4 team members will be active throughout the entire program, serving as the core team members and providing the necessary continuity for success. The major task of Phase 0 will be to revise, complete, validate the feasibility of the Nuggets program. That means reassessing this entire proposal, revisit all the cost benefits listed using the department's resources. All of the projections in this proposal need to incorporate the DOT's growth projections and the expected impact on highway traffic and how that is expected to impact fatalities, injuries, costs, environmental impact, performance, that is congestion, travel times, and other relevant variables. To complete completed cost-benefit analysis will be the principal output of Phase 0 and used to support a decision to proceed or not. It will also be used to establish benchmarks and a baseline to measure progress should the program proceed. Once the program is completed, it will be possible to measure how effective the program has been in meeting the projections that justified the effort. Go, no go into Phase 1. It's possible that a detailed feasibility plan fails to prove out the program, necessitating a no-go decision. This would result in a total program cost of approximately $220,000. Viable feasibility leads to a go decision, moving the program into Phase 1. Subphase 1.1, 3 months. The principal task of this phase will be to develop the Nuggets operator RFPs, that is, request for proposal, that will be sent out to the industry. The RFP will contain all the requirements for a potential operator, including projected performance, cost, design, power source, organizational capability, and any other variables that the program team develops. The team will research the industry to determine who will be included in distribution. A political question that will be raised as to whether or not foreign operators will be invited to participate, particularly Germany and Japan. The RFPs will contain a complete description of the program and what the opportunity entails. Within this context, respondents will be asked to provide their view of how Nuggets will evolve if they are selected, and what they project in terms of growth, revenue, and profitability. Output of Subphase 1.1. The principal output of this subphase will be the distribution of the RFPs, with a due date of 3 months to formally respond. This time frame may be shortened or increased depending on industry standards for this sort of RFP. Subphase 1.2, 3 months. or the duration of response time for the infrastructure RFPs. While waiting for the industry responses, the program team will develop the rickshaw RFP. This will include all the rickshaw requirements and a detailed description of the Nuggets program. The rickshaw RFP will be different in that there will be no limit to those who decide to participate. Unlike the infrastructure RFP, there will be no government funding available for rickshaws. Those who choose to respond and who meet all the safety, performance, and design standards will be invited to participate in the testing phase of the program. Rickshaws that successfully test in the final phase of the program will be certified, and their manufacturers provided the opportunity to sell their rickshaws to the public. The program team will research the industry to determine where to send rickshaw RFPs. Again, international distribution will be a question, with likely targets including Korea, China, Japan, and Germany. Given that rickshaws will be simpler, lighter, and cheaper to manufacture, there may be entirely new industrial segments to consider outside of legacy auto manufacturers. Output of subphase 1.2. The principal output of this subphase will be to distribute rickshaw RFPs to all target manufacturers. There is no time limit on this RFP. Those who submit proposals will be evaluated as they arrive. Once a manufacturer is approved, they can prepare a prototype to be ready for testing during subphase 2.1. Subphase 1.3, 3 months. The principal task of this subphase will be to review and evaluate all infrastructure RFP responses. Doing so will provide the first real indication of how viable Nuggets is. How many companies respond? What kind of solutions do they propose? Do they anticipate a genuine commercial opportunity? The evaluation of industry responses will lead directly to the next major decision. Go, no go into phase 2. It's possible that nobody submits viable, credible proposals for Nova Rails, resulting in a no-go decision. At this point, the total cost of the program equals about $880,000. On the other hand, the receipt of several viable, credible submissions would result in a go decision and the awarding of contracts to the semifinalists to proceed to phase 2. The program anticipates the selection of 8 semifinalists based on their superior proposals. This number may change based on program team decisions and the nature of the responses. In any case, the intention is to award something like $10 million each to develop a working prototype, resulting in a total outlay of $80 million. Contract amounts are subject to revision based on program decisions and industry financial requirements. Output of phase 1.3. The principal output of this subphase is the selection of infrastructure semifinalists and awarding them contracts to develop working prototypes. Subphase 2.1, 12 months. During this time, the Nuggets semifinalists will be developing working prototypes. Towards the end of this subphase, the program team will add 4 full-time staff to work directly with all semifinalists and rickshaw manufacturers on any issues related to standards, design, or performance characteristics. Depending on the nature of the various designs, this will be the first phase where interconnectivity and compatibility issues will be discussed, along with establishing the groundwork for future standards. Output of subphase 2.1. The principal output of this subphase will be working prototypes from all semifinalists, along with working rickshaw prototypes. Subphase 2.2, 6 months. The principal activity of this subphase will be the evaluation of all working prototypes. Testing will take place and criteria weighed between one potential operator and another. Any rickshaws that are ready to be evaluated will be certified for final phase testing if they meet all standards and requirements. Output of subphase 2.2. The principal output of this subphase will be the selection of Nuggets finalists, 4 in total, although this number may change depending on program team decisions and evaluation results. Subphase 2.3, 6 months. After the finalists are chosen and before further contracts are awarded, all interoperability issues need to be resolved, including the compatibility of Nova Rails between operators, all SLIC to rickshaw interfaces, and networking, billing, navigation, traffic control, etc. It's possible, and perhaps the RFP is written this way, that one design of Nova Rails proves superior to all others, and that designer wins a significant portion of the contract moving forward. In this case, those operators selected to move forward with a preliminary build may be using someone else's design. It's even possible that the designer of the chosen Nova Rails doesn't win the contract for the build, based on other criteria, the strength of the organization, say. The program team will work closely with the chosen finalists to resolve all interoperability issues and to develop specific solutions to all major functioning aspects of Nuggets prior to awarding the final contracts. Go, no go into Phase 3. It's possible that none of the working prototypes promises to scale to commercial dimensions. This would result in a no-go decision with a total program cost of $84.4 million. If a reasonable number of viable working prototypes are produced, a go decision would be made and contracts would be awarded to the finalists to proceed to Phase 3. The program anticipates the selection of 4 finalists based on their superior prototypes. This number may change based on program team decisions and the nature of the prototypes. In any case, the intention is to award something like $100 million each to develop a functioning Nuggets segment, resulting in an additional outlay of $400 million. Contract amounts are subject to revision based on program team decisions and industry financial requirements. Output of Subphase 2.3. The output of this subphase will be the resolution of all interoperability issues, the final selection of every particular solution, network, Nova Rails, Slicks, rickshaws, the restructuring of the final contracts, amount, scope, requirements, etc., and the awarding of the contracts to the finalists. Subphase 3.1, 24 months. All 4 Nuggets operators would begin construction at the Alpha site. The Alpha site should be within the commuting network of a major metropolitan area. A major interchange of 2 interstate freeways in Southern California would be ideal for the following reasons. Enough traffic to commercially support the initial deployment of Nuggets should the trials prove successful. Proof of concept for all major metropolitan areas. Would encounter the most difficulty in an already congested system, particularly during construction. It would be easy to build a new system in a Nevada desert, proving nothing. Year-round construction climate. Southern California likely to be where Nuggets is most needed and will be quickly adopted should the trials prove successful. All 4 Nuggets operators would build on one of the 4 legs, meeting at the interchange. Building outside an actual downtown area will provide enough difficulty without making the initial builds totally problematic. One possible Alpha site would be where I-8 and I-15 meet in Mission Valley, San Diego. In this example, each operator would build a segment as long as commercially viable in order to fully test the system. I-15 North, I-15 South, I-8 East, I-8 West. Each operator meeting the others at the interchange between I-8 and I-15. During this subphase, the program team, and in particular the 4 full-time staff, would work with each operator to oversee development and construction. Any issues that couldn't be resolved on site would be brought back to the program team for resolution or escalation. Output of subphase 3.1. The principal output of this subphase would be an operational Alpha site for all 4 Nuggets operators, along with fully operational rickshaws. Subphase 3.2, 6 months. Once the Alpha site is fully operational, trials would begin and the testing of every aspect of Nuggets: safety, performance, speed, on-off boarding, effectiveness, slick rickshaw interface, traffic control, billing navigation, passenger comfort, and convenience. Initial testing might be done with empty rickshaws, with later tests done with passengers. All aspects of interoperability between Nuggets operators would be tested and all issues resolved. Output of subphase 3.2. Outputs from this final phase would include all rickshaw manufacturers that meet design criteria and performance standards would be certified for commercial deployment. Final industry standards and protocols for Nuggets and rickshaws would be established and published. All Nuggets operators that meet operational standards would be certified for commercial deployment and expansion. With these final steps, the Nuggets program team would come to a close and the team disbanded. Further regulation, oversight, right-of-way management, taxation, and problem resolution would be handed off to the appropriate authority. Budget. As in all projections in this document, the proposed budget is simply a starting point and likely to change once further planning and analysis are completed. This budget table shows the outlays on a phase-by-phase basis. Staff budget assumptions include the following. Conclusion. Accepting the traffic panacea proposal and staffing funding the Nuggets program would transform passenger transportation into a safer, faster, cheaper, convenient, and innovative transportation system without sacrificing the privacy and freedom of owning one's own vehicle. To summarize, key elements of this proposal include a program sponsored and managed by the federal government, most likely the Department of Transportation. Projected full transition in approximately 30 years. Nuggets program of 5.5 years. Full deployment in approximately 25 years. A passenger transportation system that drastically reduces traffic fatalities and traffic injuries. A passenger transportation system that greatly lowers the cost to individual consumers and to the economy as a whole. A program that manifests multiple private operators, resulting in future innovation and improvement in cost, quality, performance, routes offered, and aspects of personal transportation we haven't yet imagined. Adopts an aerial solution utilizing existing highway right-of-ways. With each new Nugget segment deployed, tolls applied to comparable legacy highways. The cleanest energy will be utilized by all Nuggets operators and rickshaw manufacturers, promising lower emissions and an improved environment. Seamless charging, billing, navigation will be deployed. The transition to Nuggets, one that fundamentally changes the nature of passenger transportation, can only take place at the behest of the federal government. No other possibility exists. Without such a transition, the carnage on the highways will continue for the foreseeable future. The ground transportation system will remain in stasis, lacking innovation. The government, federal, state, local, will struggle to finance the upgrades and expansion necessary to meet future demand. Please take the traffic panacea proposal seriously. Tens of millions of future lives depend on it. Well, that concludes our show for today. In the next episode, we will present more bad business. Until then, peace.